A fisherman from Deadliest Catch was tragically lost in a horrifying accident. Captain Jake and his crew pulled up a record-breaking amount of crabs, even the most experienced among them. As they battled the pouring rain, their thoughts were on their families, driving them deeper into dangerous waters. The bravery of these fishermen exposed the real dangers of crab fishing and the shocking accident that terrified viewers on live TV. As they finally pulled up their catch, the results were beyond belief. Jake was shocked and said he's never seen anything like it in all his years at sea. He pointed out that bringing in this massive haul only took 8 hours, but as the crew began to celebrate, the sonar emits a chilling beep, a signal they've never heard before. Jake urgently called out to his crew to prepare for the worst and emphasized the importance of keeping the anchor cable tight to prevent the winch from being ripped off the ship and lost in the sea. Jake was clearly upset, admitting that the other ships might be watching them and questioning their decision to try and secure the anchor in such dangerous conditions. He promised to take responsibility for his mistakes and hoped his crew would do the same. As they prepared to head back to port, Jake noticed another ship coming dangerously close, risking a collision. This new threat put everyone on high alert, and the situation escalated quickly with the two ships nearly crashing into each other. The captain of the other ship, the Wizard, was very upset, warning his crew that there would be serious consequences for anyone who didn't follow his orders. Captain Jake quickly gave out orders to ensure the safety of his ship and crew, making sure all essential equipment was checked. The stormy seas were a tough test, but how well the crew responded to Jake's commands was key to getting through the dangers ahead.
I don't want you talking to one of these factory guys. Shut the up! Get out of here! Out! Out!
The captain of the Wizard's ship, Captain Jake, is upset and blames the other captain for reckless steering. He questions the engines working and wonders why their ship suddenly appeared in front of his at 4.5 knots. The calm sea suggests new trouble ahead, with the mysterious mysteries of the Bering Sea's depths. The other captain explains that they tried to reverse the boat, but the throttles didn't respond, leaving them puzzled. The Wizard's captain suggests checking the other captain's vessel for damage and wishes him good luck. The conversation ends without any apologies, suggesting they might have more to discuss when they reach the port. The captain of the Wizard feels relieved that there will be no more shouting. A crew member steps forward to talk about safety or calm everyone down. They explain the purpose of the collision bulkhead, which is designed to fill with water in case of a crash. This feature is meant to keep the ship from sinking and could potentially save everyone on board. A deckhand on the Saga almost became a casualty due to the fierce winds and harsh conditions of the Bering Sea. Captain Jake had to decide if chasing a potential catch was worth the risk to his crew in such dangerous conditions. He shouted a warning to Jacob, telling him to stay alert because danger was close. A massive wave crashed onto the deck, drenching everyone in cold seawater and leaving the crew shivering. Captain Jake apologized, admitting he didn't see the wave coming, and described how the water flooded the deck and almost knocked him over with a coiler. He managed to manage his hook line, barely avoiding getting hurt. Captain Jake still emphasized the importance of always being on guard at sea and warned the crew not to continue fishing with the worsening weather.
All right, enough of that. Check your boat for damage. I hope you're okay over there. I am checking my boat for damage as we speak.
He called off the fishing trip, joking that the intense waves were like Bruce Lee punches. However, the troubles on the summer bay continued. A man fell overboard, turning their day upside down. Captain Wild Bill, with a strong and capable team, decided to continue fishing through the night, even with the strong currents in deep waters. He told his crew to make sure they were secured and set their traps deeper by 3 feet. The crew faced the rough waves with determination and the high stakes of crab fishing as the weather got worse. The crew of a fishing boat faced numerous challenges during the summer season. One of the crew members, Spencer, was determined to work on the rail and pull in crab pots, despite the strong currents. However, the celebration didn't last long, as one of the crew members had trouble with the equipment due to the strong currents, and another man accidentally fell overboard. Captain Wild Bill felt these moments were some of the most intense in his life, grateful that no one was lost. Another crew member, Nick, twisted his ankle in the commotion, which could keep him from working for the rest of the season. A crew member contacted Captain Wild Bill to update him on their work and report Nick's injury. The team was worried about how they would manage the rest of the season under such tough conditions. Nick's injury became more painful, and the crew thought about cutting off his boot to apply ice. They planned to keep an eye on him overnight. The decision to get medical help was still up in the air, but with limited first aid, they were concerned about how much worse his condition could get by. The next day, Nick felt a sharp pain in his ankle and asked his teammates if they could take a break. One of his colleagues offered to bandage his ankle and suggest they get it checked out by a doctor in the morning, possibly even with an X-ray. Captain Harley of the Southern Wind acknowledged that the winds were calmer during the day, but insisted they hurry to retrieve their crab pots to avoid any delays.
The bin board stopped that. Watch the crab. See what they're doing? See all that weight?
He carefully maneuvered his ship to stay clear of another boat called Summer Bay, which had agreed to move out of the way by midday. Captain Harley ordered his crew to move the ship and get a piece of equipment properly aligned on the dock. But Wild Bill, watching from his ship, wasn't confident in Harley's actions and feared a crash. The crew faced numerous challenges during the summer season, including the unexpected incident at Port Sour, the need to move their boats, and the potential dangers of a collision. Captain Wild Bill, who was watching from his ship, was not confident in Harley's actions and feared a crash. Captain Harley's crew, Bill and his crew, were dealing with a dangerous situation on the Ocean Challenger. Harley's poor handling and frequent warnings about the distance from another boat led to tension and confusion. Bill's concerns were spot on, as Harley was more used to open waters where other boats aren't an issue. Despite knowing their captain was at fault, Harley's crew stayed quiet and inspected the damage to his boat, a dent on the starboard stern caused by Harley's vessel. Bill compared their situation at the dock to being out at sea ready to face the storms. He took a more determined stance, encouraging his crew to load the pots and get back to sea, stressing the importance of their mission and considering avoiding sailing in rough weather. Bill, having already dealt with one dead fisherman, wanted to avoid more trouble by keeping his distance from Harley. On the Ocean Challenger, Captain Keith had to make a crucial decision as the situation worsened. He explained that working with heavy machinery required a deep understanding of the equipment, predicting cargo movement, and having a strong instinct about the operation. During a call with his kids, Keith encouraged them to follow their passions, especially dancing. But an urgent message signaled the start of a serious and sad series of events. Keith had to cut short his family call to prepare for the tough times ahead. The Ocean Challengers sent out a distress call to the Coast Guard in Cold Bay, Alaska, turning what should have been a routine trip into a dramatic rescue operation.
Yep, I got him, dude. Retrieving shoreline. Good. Well done, well done.
As the situation got worse, the Coast Guard's survival depended on how quickly they could find them, whether they were in life rafts or survival suits. In the middle of the chaos, a crew member almost got hurt by shifting equipment. As they prepared to head north for their next journey, Captain Keith and his team were driven by hope for safety, but worried about their efforts. Deckhand Taylor Jensen was injured when his finger got caught in a coiler, causing him to cry out for help. Captain Josh of the Cornelia Marie called for Taylor to come to him, realizing the extra strain it would put on the team. Taylor's finger is seriously hurt and needs immediate medical care, but their options are limited. Captain Casey decided to remove dam tissue to treat the wound properly and calls for medical supplies. In such critical situations, the priority should be to prioritize the safety of the entire crew and ensure the safety of the entire crew in such critical situations.